Good. So this is actually a really cute painting. I picked it for Mother's Day. And if you want a boy, you can put a boy in there, just you don't put the dress, that's all. If you want a boy standing next to the girl, I suppose I shouldn't even be saying all of this because it's so not neutral, politically correct. So maybe I should just shut up. Because maybe your boy wants to have a dress on. I don't know. I'll just shut up. Okay. You can make your figures however you want to make them. Is that okay, girls?
That's okay.
Oi, 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 oi. I don't know what to think anymore. Okay. So I've got the picture. Oh, no, I don't. I got to put it up, don't I? Let's just get this on the screen. And my phone and my little machine thing here. Just screwing it in. Such a wonderful piece of equipment, and I'm so grateful that my husband got it for me. There we go. So I'm going to move my chair a little closer. Move over, Shenley. You're right underfoot. Move. Over, buddy. That's a boy. He just has to be part of everything, this guy. Comes when I'm doing Bible studies. He sits on my lap when I'm trying to preach. He's here with paint parties. He's a regular attender. Okay, so let me turn this the right way. There we go. Everybody can see everything well?
Yes.
So this is the picture. It's in black and white, but you know what the other one looks like. I just want to mention that, okay, so it's a really cute spring type of a painting. It's good as a Mother's Day gift. It's good for yourself, whatever you're gonna do with it. Your background is what we're gonna start with. And we're going to do the background. Now I've got it yellow and green, very, very pale yellow. If you want blue as the sky, you can do blue, but it's got to be very, very pale. I like the yellow just because it's cheerful and it looks pretty. That's why I've got it there. So we're going to start, and let's do that yellow and green. Let's do the whole background first. So I like the idea that Sue had. So Karen, you haven't done this yet.
No.
So let me explain it to you. What we're going to do is we're going to use acrylic paint, which I know you have, and we're going to water it down a bit. So it works almost like a watercolor paint instead of an acrylic.
Okay.
So I want you to put, depending on the size of the canvas that you're working with,
Is a big one.
you put some yellow on like so. And then we're going to water it down. So by watering it down, excuse me, you're going to take your brush, and usually a little bit bigger brush. I don't want a little teeny brush. Okay, so I've got this brush here. It's bigger than my thumb, see it? So I'm going to use that brush. And now you're going to stick your brush in water. Let's see right here. Okay. I'm going to get quite a bit of water on that brush. You see it's dripping. You want it to be dripping wet. And then you're going to go over to your palette where you put your yellow, and you're going to dip it in the paint, the water right in the paint. You're going to water it right down. Okay. And then just get more yellow until you've got kind of a very watered down paint there. You're going to see it's almost able to drip a little bit as opposed to being thick. So we're going to, lots of water. See what I'm doing? Whoop, see how it's dripping? So I've just got it kind of to the point where it'll drip like that. Slide down your palette. So I'm putting a little more water on mine to make it even a little bit more watery. Okay. And what we're gonna do is let's put a line across the bottom where we know we're gonna put our green, so we don't go any farther down. So you're gonna go you want it to look like a little hill under her feet. So you know the green is gonna come here, so I'm gonna go across like this, and I'm going to bring it down so it's a little bit lower, and that's where my green is gonna be, all under the yellow. Do you see where I just put that yellow? All in there is gonna be green. Everything above is gonna be yellow. So now make sure it's watered down. And now you can start right at the top and just go right to left, left to right. And do this very pale yellow. You don't want this real bright.
Now,
And
should I
nice
have
and
to make
watered down.
canvas tall or canvas wide?
I would suggest tall, so that's vertical or landscape, portrait, however they want to say it.
Okay.
So I'm just putting the yellow on. You see, I'm not having it dark, and I'm making sure it's very watered down. So this is almost like a watercolor. We can do watercolors again sometime.
All right.
Just right across. And then when you get the whole top of this done, right down to where you did that little line where the green grass is going to come, then you want to make sure you do the top and the sides also. Really light yellow. This is one of my favorite brushes, the ones I got at the dollar store. I either like those. I got expensive brushes. I hardly ever use them. I've got these, and of course the makeup brushes that I love using. And those I got at the dollar store. I'm a dollar store fan. So now I'm painting the sides with this light yellow.
So you're
I'm gonna
doing
go right
whole
down.
canvas except for the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom's gonna be green. So you're gonna just do it right up to everywhere where you painted the yellow on the front. That's where the yellow goes across the top and the sides. I'm thinking I'm going to give this to my granddaughter because my great granddaughter is about the age of the little girl in the picture. So that kind of looks like them. They both have the blonde hair. So I think I'm going to give it to her.
That's pretty. That's awesome.
Yeah. God only knows I don't need any more paintings in my house. I'm thinking of doing another one of those giveaways, planting them throughout the town and let people find them. Everybody was so happy with that. People were so happy. You would have thought they got $1 million or something.
So what if it's too dark, like it's too bright?
Then put a little bit more water on it and water it down.
Okay.
And then if that's still not working, then take some white, put it on your tray next to your yellow.
Okay.
Don't wash the brush off, and then put some white on top of the yellow that you just did, kind of blend it in there, and it'll lighten it up.
All right.
I've been finding these paints here. See that?
Mm-hmm.
At the dollar store.
Really?
At Dollarama.
Wow.
And, you know, normally I'll buy this kind at Dollarama, right? This brand, which is good. It works fine. But these are really good. They're like the really, well, I would say like the second level of paints that you can buy that are quite expensive. And they were, I think, $1.50. So it's a good size. Oh, $1.25.
Is that thicker paint? A little bit thicker then?
Yeah. When
Yeah,
it comes out,
nice.
it's thicker. So you can texture with it more. And then at the Dollar Tree, they have this kind of paint. And this is pretty good too. It's similar to the other ones from the dollar store, the Deco Art.
Yeah.
This one's good. Yeah, I think, yeah, this was Dollarama, these ones here, this kind.
Wow.
Acrylic paint, but they're good. They're thick and they texture well. This kind, the Artist Loft, this is level 1. I get these at Michael's, but you
Mhm.
can get them every once in a while on sale. Like you buy one, get one free or whatever. You can get them for maybe $4 each. I don't need any more paint, but when if I see some like this one I just had and I don't have that shade, I'll pick it up. I didn't have that color yellow. So, okay, well, how's that yellow coming out now, Karen? Is it better?
It's much better.
Okay, good. So now we're going to do the green that's on the bottom. So I want you to do a couple shades of green, but let's take our brush. I put a little teeny bit of green on there. Do you see that? And now I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to water down that green. You don't need a lot of green because you don't, well, your canvases are bigger than mine, so you'll need more than I have. I have a very small canvas. So I'm watering it down the same way till it's like runny, like water almost. Water it down so it's water. That makes sense. You're gonna water this down so it's watery.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna put a little more water on mine. And now I'm gonna paint
Okay,
that
guys,
little,
is that good?
yeah, it looks fine.
Okay.
So now we're gonna water down the green and then we're gonna paint that bottom little hill. And we're gonna go right across. And you can go right into the yellow a little bit if you want to blend it. And you're gonna go right and just paint that whole little area green. And then we're gonna put another shade of green on top of that after. So let's get that painted. Focal point is the girls, not the green. That just helps accent it. Make sure you go off to the side. And if you'd like, you can lift it up and paint the bottom. Or you probably don't have yours on an easel. I don't use an easel, you know that. Very seldom. I have so many of them here, probably 40 easels.
Oh,
And well, yeah, because of all the big paint parties they was doing.
yeah.
And then I've got the other kind of easels, like the ones I use on my own, the stand-up ones. I have about 6 of them. I don't even use them. Some have the actual box on them. So you got your easel and then the box right under the easel that pulls out, and that's where you keep your paints.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
use any of them. So silly. So you can see how this does look like watercolors.
Mhm.
The really pale colors. That's what we want for this. So we want that to dry, but I'm going to put a little bit of maybe a teeny bit of the darker green, the one that I first started with before I watered it down. So I have some here still on my tray. And I'm just going to put a little bit of, I'm going to squiggle it around there a little bit, just a little. And I'm also going to have a lighter green. So if you don't have a lighter green, whatever green you've got there that you're working with, put a drop of white and mix it up and just make your green a little bit lighter and dip your brush in that and just kind of squiggle a little bit in there every couple little spots just to kind of give that two-tone shade there. Just squiggle some in there. So you can see it there. It's just, it looks like you're looking at the grass and you're kind of seeing those different shades, the sun shining or whatever it is on there. And you can see a couple shades of green. And that's what you want with that. once that's painted, you want that dry, so then we can really start to work on the figures. So I'm going to just step over and dry it when yours is, when you've got the green and the yellow painted, get your hair dryer out and just do a quick dry of it so we can then trace the girls on there. I'm going over here for a minute. And then when you're gonna trace, you can either trace with a pencil, a Sharpie. I would not use chalk, I don't think that will work on this. A pen might work, but nah, I wouldn't use that. So either a Sharpie or pencil. Before you start to trace, okay, that's good, Karen. Yep. Did you do the side? You're muted, hon.
Should I not move them up a little bit higher or is that fine?
Hold it down a little bit. And how big are your girls?
Well, I didn't finish, cutting it, but
Yeah. Okay, so let's put them on the. You can go up a little higher if you want. Not a lot higher. A little bit, maybe an inch.
okay.
So are your, Sue, is your painting dry enough to trace?
So Debbie, I used graphite paper and I had mine already. I
Oh,
did it
okay.
This afternoon, so it's already on here.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ordered that graphite paper. I was so excited. I tell you guys about this last time. And I got 125 pieces of graphite paper and 75 pieces of colored graphite paper. And I was waiting for it to come from Amazon. And the package arrived. And inside the package was a back scratcher.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, well, I don't want a back scratcher, not for what I paid for that anyway.
Oh,
And I've been trying to get them to give me my money back, and it's a third party person. So I'm having a problem with it. So I said, Larry, you need a back scratcher. So unfortunately, I don't have my graphite paper now.
Oh,
And I'm aggravated, so.
Hmm.
Oh, well, I usually don't have any problems with Amazon. But this time I did. So right now I'm tracing my girl. Now I don't want you to trace yours. Well, you already have, Sue, but I just wanted to show you how to place her on the paper. So I'm in the middle of tracing right now, so just hang on.
So one thing, while you're tracing that, with using this watercolor paper, it's getting a little bit wrinkly. Like, have you ever you've used that, right?
The watercolor paper is getting wrinkly.
A little bit, like it's, yeah,
You might be using too much water.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason I can think that it would get wrinkly.
Okay.
Sometimes
Maybe
we
after when
think,
it's good and dry, I'll put something heavy on it after everything's good and dry, so it'll just be flat all over.
yeah,
Try that.
so I'm just finishing tracing her, or them, I should say. And then we'll look at where it goes. I just don't want you to put them on in the wrong direction. Now you're going to be more than likely painting over what you've traced.
Yeah.
Probably won't see the lines. Oh, although we're doing this clear or this watercolor idea, so we probably will see the lines. Forget what I just said. If we were just doing the acrylic, you wouldn't see any of these lines. You'd have to go back and fill them in again. But a lot of this painting involves drawing to give it the character that we want it to have. It really is cute. Okay. So. So the part that I wanted to show you is that we want her, the girl, the mother, whoever that is, we want her leg to be, she's more standing straight. The little girl is off to the side. The little girl is sweeping off. So the mother's legs are like straight down. So there's her head and her leg comes straight down to the green grass. So she's not crooked, because you could easily want to put her this way and have the little girl look like she's holding her mother up in the air, and that would look silly. Supergirl. So the mother's feet are on the ground. The little girl's one foot's on the ground, and then her other foot, it's like her mother's twirling her. Yeah. And her one leg is flying up in the air, and the mom's leg is up. So that's how you want this to look.
What are you drawing? What are you sketching that with?
Oh, I have a Sharpie, but it's a pointed one. I had my other regular Sharpie out, which I was going to use. And then I realized this one still had some ink on it, so I'm using that. But you can use just a normal Sharpie is fine.
Okay.
Especially because you have a bigger canvas. For me, it would be maybe a bit overpowering on this small canvas. And because we're going to make this like watercolor, this stuff is going to show through. So now it's a matter of we're going to be drawing. We're going to be trying to make this this whole effect, the dress and everything else. We're going to be drawing this now. We're going to be drawing her hair. We're going to be drawing her face. Now I messed up here a little bit. I got to try to fix that. You see what happened when I was tracing the face? My hand moved and it made like a pointy chin. So I'm going to try to fix that right now. Just got to work on this. So I just hang on. I don't want her to have some sort of weird.
So which
chin.
way are you facing them?
If you're looking at it, they're facing to your left.
Okay. Uh-oh.
When I paint this girl's face, I'm really going to have to play around with this because as I said, when I was drawing it, my hand moved and it kind of messed things up here with the shape of her face. So I'm just trying to fix that right now.
Can I see your painting?
Yeah, I'm just trying to fix that because I messed that up right there. When I paint her face, I'll be fixing that. I'll just make the paint a little thicker there. I'm just trying to do something to cover that up. So what I'm doing now is if you've all, I think you've both got the actual pictures in front of you.
Mhm.
We need to do as much drawing on here as we can now to give it the look we want it to have. We have to make sure that we've got the little girl's arms and the mama's arms where they need to be. And I'm going to put those in there because then you can just, let me just grab this over here for a second. And then you can follow those. Once I get this to where it should be, then I'm going to let you see it. I'm just gonna do the little girl's arm and then I'll give it to you to check out. Okay, I think that's enough. Now you can look at this. Okay, I just wanted to give you a few lines so it looks a little bit easier to follow than just my hand being up there. We're gonna add a lot more to it. But if you can try to get this blended in, then you should be able to work with it. So she's got a shirt with a sleeve on it. So we're gonna put the little sleeve there on both sides. You'll do the face and everything later when we paint her. We're just trying to get the actual idea of what we're doing. You don't even, well, you can put the designs on the dresses if you're gonna do this watercolor idea. So I'm gonna do some of that.
Is there any way to make the painting picture bigger on my screen?
I can pull it closer.
That'd be great.
That's about, let me move the camera over. Hang on.
Karen, can you select to just see that one? Like I selected something different and Debbie's picture's real big for me then. I could see all 4 screens or I can make it go to just that one.
Yeah, you go to speaker. Go to speaker. Do you know how to do that, Karen?
No.
It says gallery view and then it'll say speaker. It's I
Was it
can't, let's see
Yeah.
where it would be.
Are you on like a laptop or an iPad or what are you on? Karen?
laptop?
You're on a laptop because I don't know how to.
Okay, so if you're on a laptop, I'm using a laptop here, so let me see what we gotta do. Okay, move your mouse around on the laptop and up in the right-hand corner at the top, it should say view. You see where it says view?
Mm-hmm.
Click view.
And then speaker?
Yeah, try that and see what happens. Then every time I talk, it should be big. You should be able to see that screen. Are you seeing it big?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
So now if everybody else talks, when you guys talk, it'll show you. So say something for a second.
Okay. Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Okay, so as the individual speaks. So if it's just me talking, you're gonna see, this is on my phone. You're gonna see the camera on my phone, which is showing this picture.
Yes.
Okay, so is that better?
Much better.
Yeah, could you imagine if there was like 50 people on here, you'd have a little postage
I
stamp.
know. I just little
I can't see it. Could you please bring it closer?
one.
So as you can see, there's a few areas where I messed up, like the face, because my hand moved. but I'm gonna fix that. When I actually start to paint that face in, it's gonna be fixed. So even though I'm doing a watercolor effect, I'll make it darker. The flesh color, I'll make it a little darker around that area. So while you're working on that, so now I'm just doing like this petticoat. That's the actual petticoat on their dresses. Remember those things? Maybe
Yes,
most of you know. Okay. So I'm just doing some little ziggy zaggies to give that effect. So it looks like that's there. And then I'm gonna, her little leg comes out under the dress. So you're seeing her leg there. Right there. And then we've got the ruffles on the dress. And because we're doing the light colors, we want the drawings to really be showing now.
I think that I made the girl too big for the mom.
Mm,
I think it's the right
I
size. She
think
just got to
it's,
her face. Yeah. Little girl's
yeah,
face.
just her face. You'll have to make the face bigger when you're actually, what are you using to draw? A pencil?
I'm using this, I don't know, this brown pencil.
Graphic pencil? Yeah. Okay. So you can make, see what I had to do? I had to change the shape of the face. You can
Mhm.
make her face a little bit bigger. Try maybe her whole head a little bit bigger because it seems like that's a little small for the body. The body's not, I don't think, wrong. I think it's just the shape of the head. The head needs to be bigger,
Okay.
face. So I'm going over my lines right now to make them a little darker on her dress because I'm going to paint over this. I'm going to do the same down here now with this leg. And can actually kind of put a shape of little toes if you want to. And make your black lines a little darker. You're gonna put a belt on her. You can put a little necklace on both of them, but you can wait a while for that. Let's do the petticoat idea on both the mother and the child's dresses. And you are just gonna design it the way you want it to be. And all you do is put some squiggly lines in there. And it gives it the effect of the petticoat moving as she's swaying her child around.
Hmm.
So there's no right and wrong way to do that petticoat because it's just gonna turn out the way you want it to be. It's not like anybody's gonna go, "Well, that's not the right way," because it's impossible to say that. It's gonna be the way you draw it. swear, I keep telling me, I'm telling myself I'm gonna throw away these Sharpies that don't work, and then I put them right back in with my stuff, honestly. It's like when you have a pen and you know the pen doesn't work, but you keep putting it back. The other thing you can do when you get done drawing them is you're not gonna draw every single thing on them right now because we have to paint them. But you can put this sun up in the left-hand corner when you're done putting in the basics of what I just did. You're gonna use that same marker. And because we're doing it like watercolors, we want these circles to show. So it's just gonna be almost like a target. So I'm gonna just do a small circle and then it's gonna get bigger and bigger. So I'm gonna go like this.
Oh, are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And when you put the darker yellow on this sun that we just did, be careful that you don't get any green on it. So you may want to use a totally different brush or really, really clean that brush. So right now I'm just going to put a darker yellow on top of this kind of circular stuff I just drew. And all I'm doing is going in a circle with that dark yellow. I'm painting it on there and I'm taking my brush and I'm going in circles. You're probably not at that point yet, but I'm just showing you. Now, the beauty of doing it like a watercolor is that you don't have to stay in the lines that you drew. You can go outside the lines a little bit because watercolors look like they've kind of bled into the other paint. So you want to go outside that color, that's fine. And then what I am going to do is with that yellow that's not too watered down, I'm just going to put a little bit going across the top also of this painting. So I'm just going to throw a little bit up there. Not a lot, just enough to make it a little bit darker because we're closer up to the sun there. So just a little. Now, normally, if you were just doing acrylic without watering it down, then you wouldn't be drawing quite so much as what we've drawn. But the way we're doing it, you're going to see through the paints. So I'm going to put a few more details, and then you can do that too. I'm going to put some lines going down the dresses. And what this is doing is giving an idea that the dress is kind of blowing around a little bit. You want to put some lines under her little boobies. So and the little girl's dress, we're going to put some lines in there too. And a little bit maybe off to the back a little bit so you can see it kind of just swirling around. I'm just putting a few lines on her feet. The flowers on her hair, we'll fix that once we're ready to. You can feel free to draw a few little flowers if you want now. You want to put her hair also above the little wreath that she's got on her head. You want to see her hair. So if you notice, if you just look up for a second, you'll see that I did her hair above her wreath also, and then her hair sweeping down. I'm gonna wait to do her face because I want to put darker paint there to cover up some of that black. With the flowers that are all over, you can either draw those in with your Sharpie, or you can just put little blobs of flowers afterwards. But we've got about 5 or 6 flowers down on the bottom in the grass. And then we've got some flowers just flying all over. It's supposed to give that effect of that she's twirling her around and they're having a good time. So you want to show movement. So the flowers are going to show the movement. So oh, okay, Karen must be going to dry things. Where are you at with yours, Sue?
I've got some painting. I'm doing some, I'll show you. Can you see?
Oh, pretty.
Thanks.
Wow, that really does look like watercolors, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you. Years and years ago, I used to take painting and we did like some pen and ink, and I really liked that. It was more
Yeah.
like tool painting that I did though, not so it's a
Yeah.
lot of like color book painting.
I remember that. I did the
Yeah.
same thing. It was so much fun. I think I still got some of that stuff out in the garage unless it got thrown out.
Mhm.
I don't know. Could have. So what I'm going to do is while you guys are doing what you're doing, I'm going to start to paint in her face the faces, the arms, and the legs. So I want to get that done first. And I'm going to start with the faces and then work down. So you just go at your pace to wherever you are. And I'm going to work on doing the faces. And as I said, I'm trying to cover up that little bit of a faux pas that I did there. And I'll have to make it quite dark. But it's being covered, you see? I'm getting that covered. And the color that I'm using is still, with some companies, they still call it flesh. A lot of companies have stopped doing that. But I think this one is called flesh, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I'm not making it up. So I'm just doing that now. And I'm going to go very lightly over the hands because I did draw in fingers, so I want those to show. And then I'm doing the legs and the feet. And as you can see, I'm letting the marker show. Now, if you wanted, you could put shoes on her, on them, sandals. So I put way too much paint on my palette, way too much paint. It came out too fast because the thing was clogged, so I had to pour it out, and I poured too much, way too much. So being as cheap as I am, as frugal as I am putting it back in the container. Just in case I need it again. I swear if I could wring it out, I probably would. Ugh. I just don't like to waste.
No, me either.
Well, you know, some people, they think I'm crazy.
No, you do a lot of painting. If you wasted all that, look how much more you'd be going through.
I know.
Yeah.
Like if I have a whole lot on my palette and you know you're going to be painting, like let's say tomorrow or the next day, all you do is cover the palette with saran wrap
Mm-hmm.
and then it's good. It's good to go. my granddaughter, for my birthday, she bought me I'll show it to you in a second, a whole set of oil paints.
Oh,
'Cause
nice.
I don't do too much oil and I want to. And this has encouraged me now that I should do some oil paint. It's just because I want to go fast. And you can't go fast with oil. Oh, you can go fast while you're painting. You can blend and make it look beautiful. But you have to wait in between times when you're painting for it to dry.
Yeah, I've never tried oils.
Yeah, it's a lot different than acrylic. It's real good for blending. Really good. This has all these tubes in it. There's
Wow,
tons of tubes. See all those? And then there's
nice.
another whole tray underneath of it with all different colors.
That's
So
beautiful.
there's all, and they're good size. So I have that to work with sometime or another.
I'll be back in just a minute.
Yeah. So I think if we're going to do her hair blonde, if we're going to stick with blonde, you can do brown or any color you want. I'm going to do blonde, but we've got yellow everywhere up there, the dark yellow or the sun yellow and then the real pale yellow. So I'm going to mix just what I've already got on my tray. I'm going to mix a little bit of the flesh color in with the yellow to make it just a little bit different color yellow. Let's see what happens. And I know you're probably not at that point yet, and that's okay. But I just want to see if this is going to look decent or not and show up. Ah, look what's happening. My marker is.
Is that a permanent marker?
Yeah, it is, but look what it's doing.
Looks like shading now.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna be okay, because that is not what I was planning. I'll have to wait till that dries and then go over it. See, you just don't know, do you? Now it looks like she's got gray hair.
Hmm.
So Karen, what's happened is I took the yellow and I mixed a little flesh color with it to give it an even different color than the two yellows that are already on. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, the marker, look what's happening. The marker started to blend and now it looks like she's gray. So I'm gonna have to wait till that dries and then I'm gonna go over it again with yellow again.
It could be grandma and granddaughter.
Yeah, well, she looks awfully young, but
I
could
know.
be. She'd have to be a little bit heavier, I think. Well, there are some very thin grandmothers, but oh my God, she's now gonna have dark hair. I'm gonna have to go back later. But this is telling me that when I do the dress, I better be careful
Hmm.
because otherwise the dress is gonna take on that dark look, isn't it? So I'm either gonna let her have this color scheme or I'm gonna go back with some yellow later. Funny, that was not what I was looking for, but.
Yeah, is that weird that a Sharpie is running, or Because I thought
It
Sharpies.
is weird. It is weird because I
Permanent, yeah.
use them all
Yeah.
the time for this type of thing.
Hmm.
I think it's possible that because I'm watering down the paints,
Oh,
it still shouldn't be running though. It shouldn't.
Hmm.
I'm wiping my brush off really well, and I'm gonna see what I can do with that because I really wanted them to be blonde because of my granddaughter and
yeah.
great granddaughter. I wanted them to. But we'll work with it. See what happens. And maybe I'm gonna try not watering it down at all and see what happens. Maybe my little girl will be a blonde. Looks like it's doing the same thing. Hope it doesn't do that for you guys. Let's see what this marker is. Oh. Non-permanent.
Oh,
Oh, no.
It's a different kind, non-permanent. Oh boy.
oh,
I'm gonna have to go over this whole dress now with, yeah,
hmm.
see, I just picked it up and thought, oh, this is a good one. It's thin and it will work well. Just gonna be careful. Then I'm gonna go over it again when it dries and I think it'll be okay then. You know, you never know. Sometimes you make these little kind of boo-boos and then it ends up looking really cool, like you planned it.
Yeah.
People go, oh, I really love the shading. I'm like, oh, okay. Thanks. It really wasn't planned, but yeah, I'm glad you like it, guys. I've had that happen a lot. So now this looks like this woman is a blonde who's got the dark shading under it. You know how they do that?
Yes.
Or maybe that's what she is. Actually, I think my granddaughter does have her hair like that right now.
Hmm.
So, oh yes, I planned this. Maybe, Grandma, how did you get that hair to look like that? Don't watch my video. It's like never give up, never surrender. Hey, it's looking like it's supposed to be like that almost.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
nice.
coming out like it looks like it's some sort of supposed to be like that. Okay,
Mhm.
we're good. It's coming along. I just got to know to be careful now when I do the dress. So I started with the face, the neck, and the hands and the legs. And now I'm doing the hair. Then I'm going to wait for the hair to dry, so I might as well work on the dresses. So I have to wash off the brush, and then if you're doing the same thing, well, I don't think you're going to have to worry because you're working with permanent marker. Unfortunately, I didn't. I'm going to see if
Yeah.
I've got a good marker here that I can maybe go over some of that.
I kind of gave up on the project.
What's
What
that?
do you mean?
I gave up on the project. I have to get different supplies.
Oh, on this project?
Yeah.
Oh, it was looking cute.
I just couldn't. I don't know. I think that I need a smaller tipped marker.
I think you need to believe in yourself.
Well, that too.
No, I'm serious, because when you did the last one, it was so cute.
Thank you. I'm actually still working, still working on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
don't
yeah,
give up, honey. Don't give up.
yeah, just keep working on it and even when I don't like a painting, I just really feel every one I do, I learn something from it. So,
It's like life,
yes, yeah.
right? Life isn't always exactly the way we want it to be.
Mhm.
Ain't that the truth?
It's like what Eddie spoke on, huh?
Yes, that really touched
Making
me.
something out of nothing.
Yes,
That was really good.
he is awesome with that.
Isn't he a sweetheart?
He is.
Yeah. But that's so true, you know?
I'll continue on it. I'm not gonna give up on the whole thing. I need to get, I think that I need to resketch it on there. But I'm still working on my birds one.
Oh, yeah?
I am, I had to do the background, and that's what I'm doing now. I messed up the wings on the bird flying in the middle.
Uh-huh.
I messed up the wings, so I'm having to cover it,
That's pretty.
the top with the background, and then I'm gonna redo the
Oh, it's
wings.
beautiful.
Thank you.
See, look at you. Oh, I don't do this right. You're doing it really right. You just gotta believe in yourself.
Yes.
We all could, not like that. Most of the people, like people like Sue, she's been coming for a long time now, but a lot of people come out and think, oh, I can't do this. And then they try, and it's like a class I did years ago with a bunch of children. And it was a really fun class.
Mhm.
And there was this one little girl, she was a perfectionist.
Mm.
And they all told me, you're going to have trouble with her. And you know what? There was a lot of trouble because the painting wasn't perfect. And she had to have everything perfect.
Mm.
She got so mad, she was crying and screaming. She threw all the paints on the
Dear.
floor. She
Oh,
was
dear.
going crazy. And her dad finally came over because there were parents there.
Mhm.
And he started to finish the painting for her because he didn't know what else to do, right? And we finally got her to the point where she started to accept the fact that her painting was cute, and everybody was coming and telling her, oh, it's really cute. And then she liked it and she continued on with it. But yeah, she was just a mess with it. I'm serious. Just so totally unhappy. And we have to be carefree. We can't, these these kind of paintings are not made to be perfection. These are paintings that are to be fun and easy and keep you relaxed. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You want to do a painting that we're going to spend hours and hours and hours and days on, we'll do that. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, I always like to come back and watch the video after it's done, like if I mess
Yeah.
up.
That's fine. But my favorite person, Bob Ross, he always said, there are no mistakes.
Happy accidents, right?
You got it. Happy little accidents.
Accident.
So I'm just trying to do some of this darker pink now. Now, if you want this is kind of a fuchsia color that I've got. I'm doing some of it that color. And if you want to have it a different color, you go ahead. I'm going along with what I did for the original here. And I'm just bringing some in there. So you can just see how I'm doing that. I'm gonna outline her dress with a little bit darker. And then I'm doing that like down the side of her dress, next to the little girl also, just a darker color. And the little girl's dress, it almost looks like a shadow. So I'm doing the back of her dress darker. And then the both sides of the dress will be darker and the center of the dress will be lighter. So no matter what color you're doing it, that's the idea, to look like there's the highlights from the sun on it and the shading. So I did the highlighting and now I'm going to bring some of the lighter pink in.
I don't know if y'all just saw me, but a spider just came out of my blow dryer,
Oh,
Oh,
my
no.
goodness.
and it was a bad one.
Wow.
I'm surprised it was in there when you had turned it on, and you would think you would get burned.
It looks like a poisonous one. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Wow.
Isn't that freaky?
Very
Yes.
freaky. Really freaky.
So when you play the video back, you'll see me snapping the spider with the flashlight.
What's wrong with that woman? And then we'll see what's wrong when you showed the spider.
Yeah. That was so scary.
You did good not to scream.
I did, but I was on mute because I was about to blow dry my
Oh, okay.
cannabis.
Wow, that was weird.
Yeah.
Trying to freak us out or what there?
Find it in the name of Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm just blending the colors of the dresses together. A little darken with the lighter colors. You okay over there?
Wondering what animal's gonna come out of my blow dryer this time.
Gonna have paranoia with blow dryers now.
I know it, right?
Don't get that blow dryer near me. What is wrong with you? Never mind. Go back and watch a video from 2 years ago. You'll figure it out.
Oh my goodness.
Anybody ever watch Fear Factor?
I used to watch that, yeah.
Oh, we watch it a lot because we just watch all the reruns.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, some of the stuff that they make those people do and what
Oh.
they do for money.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, especially the stuff they made them eat. Yeah,
eat, you wonder. And I
yeah.
don't know, like if it was filmed now, like that was back like 2005, 2000, somewhere. I don't
Mhm.
think that, I think all these animal activist groups would come forward and say, you can't do that.
Could be,
'Cause they're alive.
yuck.
A lot of those things are alive and they got to put them in their mouths, swallow them, chew them up. Ugh, so disgusting. Everybody gets grossed out,
Mhm.
So I'm gonna do the white for the petticoat. Is that even a word anymore? I don't even think anybody knows what a slip is anymore.
I wonder, yeah.
Karen, do you know what a slip is?
I certainly do. I used to buy them in Sears.
Oh, okay,
That was in my mid-20s,
okay.
about 20 plus years ago.
Yeah. Life has changed. Huh. I don't think you're old enough, neither one of you. Would you know what a girdle is?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I'm old enough. And Debbie, how about, did you ever have pedal pushers?
I was just
Oh,
gonna say,
yeah.
Pedal push. Oh, wait,
Of course.
were those were like, no,
Capris.
those were like
Yeah.
capris, but there was something, there was a slip, but it was pants. I can't think of what those were called. Like,
They had skirts. A skirt was a skirt with pants.
yeah, but how about for a slip?
Oh,
Instead of a slip, I used to have those too.
like knickers.
Not quite knickers.
I don't think she's that old. That would be our grandmothers.
Yeah.
That would be like, okay, Susie, now you get your knickers, and Johnny, don't forget your galoshes.
Galoshes too, yeah. Hmm.
That was a good one, galoshes.
Yes.
Yeah, you think about some of these words and it's like, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
people wouldn't even know what they mean.
Gaucho pants.
Yeah,
What were gaucho pants? Those were just the wider leg ones?
I think that they were like the MC Hammer.
Okay.
I had palazzo pants. Do you remember those?
Yes, yeah.
I had those. I had cool clothes. I was like, oh, my hippie clothes were so cool. I wish I still had them.
Mhm.
Some of the clothes I have now are close to some of it. But I had a lot of the clothes like, Cher from Sonny and Cher when she was wearing all those humongous bell bottoms and
Yes.
and they came tight at the knee. And then they came out into these big bell bottoms. And then the sleeves of your tops were bell sleeves. So I still have those. I have some of those. I like those.
I like those too.
Yeah.
They started calling those paisley shirts or something like that.
Oh, the paisley. Yeah, that's the pattern. Yep. They go back to it. You still see some of those things coming out again. Now they're called boho. Right?
Boho chic, yeah.
Yeah. Bohemian style. They all come back. I just don't want to ever wear a schmata like my grandmother. Schmata means like an old house dress, right?
Yes.
I don't want to get to that point. I'm always joking about that. When am I supposed to do all that? When am I supposed to wear my hair like that and wear those old fashioned dresses with the big apron? Oh, God. My mother did that too. My mother wasn't even that old when she was wearing aprons around the house with those old house dresses.
Well, that was the style then, right?
Yeah,
Back then, people didn't have as many clothes either. So you had your house dress and you didn't get all your clothes all dirty, and you had your
right.
kids always came home and changed into their play clothes.
Yeah.
They used to call muumuus.
Muumuus, yes.
Muumuus,
Yeah.
Reminds me of Mrs. Roper on Three's Company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show. It was a good show.
Yeah, it was good.
Could probably still watch it. You can see all those shows on some of the stations.
That and Golden Girls.
Yeah. Some of them were a little racy, but they weren't like what some of the movie shows are now.
Yeah.
We're all so desensitized with everything we watch.
For
If
sure.
if I ever watched half of that stuff years ago, I would have been like, oh my God, I couldn't have handled it.
I actually
Even CSI and stuff, when they cut open all the autopsies and everything, who would have ever seen that before? It's like gross you out, you know? Now it doesn't mean anything.
My grandfather used to like watching stuff with either language or blood in it. And my grandmother, when I was younger, she'd be like, let's go play a game. I'm like, okay. She just did not like to watch any of that. She was so against.
Yeah. So I'm just doing all the white stuff now, like the little ribbon, the belts and the petticoats and all that stuff. When you're ready, you can just go and do that. Unless you've already done it. It's really looking cute. It's taken on a really cute look. So I'm making the sleeves of her, looks like they're little t-shirts or something under them. So I'm just making mine white.
That looks so pretty.
I want to see yours. I want you to work on it and get that all done.
Yeah,
You know you can do it. I know you can do it.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have to retrace the tracers.
Like the birds are beautiful that you're working on.
Thank you.
Really good job. So I just realized I didn't paint the little girl's face. That wasn't smart. So I'm going to do that now. Otherwise,
Feel like you're being watched.
Sorry.
we are.
So I have the color picture on my phone, and I just tried to open that, and something else obviously popped up. Sorry about that.
Do you realize you're being
gosh,
watched?
Again, sorry.
Or steal what's on your device.
It's like a YouTube something's. I'm trying to get rid of that. I want to see my picture.
It's
There's
like last night, we were just talking about this guy, Eddie, who was preaching. He just recently became a minister, and well, with us anyway. And he was preaching, and then at the end, there was a time for prayers. I was trying, and it was so funny because my husband wanted to pray for somebody. So he came up on the screen, and this was hysterical because he must have done something and he touched the mute button. And the whole time he was praying, it was totally silent, but you could see him going, he was like really getting into it, but you couldn't hear a thing.
Oh,
And we're all going, Larry, trying to tell him, but he was so much into this prayer that he didn't even hear us.
oh.
And then it was silent, and we're all trying not to giggle. And then all of a sudden, an Elvis song popped up out of nowhere, and we're like, "What the heck?" But I think that was Eddie's phone. I think that was his phone. That was so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, when you do certain things, you take a look at it later and then you say, what can I do? What do I want? So if you look here for a second, the leg has too much, because I widened her leg a little bit. And then when I tried to cover it with the paint, it spread, the paint bled. So now I'm just going over it with some of the flesh just to cover some of that.
Yeah.
So there's always things you can do to just fix things up just a little bit. So I still need to do the face on the lady. So that would be one of the last things you do, is to draw in her facial features. So I think what I'll do is, while all that's drying, I got to do her ribbons in her hair, or her not ribbons, her wreath. So I'm going to put a couple of, when you're doing the wreath, and I know you're not doing it now, Karen, but when you're doing the wreath, you can just put a few little green blobs in there.
Okay.
And then you can put your little red, unless you're going to actually start drawing the flowers in. If you're just going to put some red dots, things in there so it looks like flowers, then you can just do some green in the background so it looks like there's leaves, and then you can tap in some little red flowers or whatever color you want. See, I'm tapping them in there, and it actually looks like little pink petals, just the way I'm tapping it.
That's beautiful.
See, so now it looks like it's flowers. I didn't have to stand there and draw the flowers. You might want to, and that's okay. I want to go quickly. And I'm doing the same with the little girl. I'm putting some green in the wreath. And then I'm going to wipe that off and put some flowers. It is a cute little painting.
Yeah, it is cute.
And I'm just going to do some pink flowers for her. Yeah. Now I'm going to do some pink flowers floating around all over the place. So I'm a little nervous about using that pen again. So I'm just going to use the fuchsia color pink and just blob in some flowers up here. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just making it look like little flowers. And then I can put a couple little green leaves around them when I'm done putting the flowers in. So you just want to put them, making them look like they're blowing around because the girls are having a good time. And the flowers are going flying all over because they're dancing and twirling. Got to use your imagination, right?
Yeah.
All I'm doing is making like little petals on the flowers. You see that just brightens it up, makes it look like it's moving around. So what I decided to do here is on top of the dark pink, I'm just adding a little bit of lighter pink to make it look more like a two-tone colored flower. Now, what made me want to do that? Because I made a mistake. When I was up here, I had a little light pink on. I go, oh, that looks good. So I decided to do that with all of them. Just make it look like that. And now I'm just going to put a couple green leaves floating around next to the flowers.
So are you watering down your flowers or are you just using?
I'm not, no, I didn't bother because I didn't want it to drip.
Okay.
I didn't bother.
And did
I
you?
actually, the paint that's on my tray now is thickening up because it's sitting there. So
Mhm.
I haven't had to do too much of anything. So I'm just going to put a few little green marks here, like little leaves flying around. A couple over here.
And did you water down the colors for their dresses as well?
A little bit, yeah. You can see right here
Okay.
how it's blending. So just a little, not a whole lot. And with this green, it's just, I'm not doing like once, I'm like touching the canvas and pulling it a little bit so that it looks like it's kind of flying out there. So by every flower, just kind of put a little bit of green. Oh, I know, I didn't put any flowers on the bottom here, did I? I didn't bet. I thought something looked like it was missing. So I didn't put any down here. And I want a few flowers down here. Yeah, definitely, because there was no flowers on the bottom. It looked a little plain, so I just put a few little, just to get the idea that it's a flower, and I'm making sure that I've got two tones in it. So just the face I have to do and maybe a necklace. I don't know if I want to, what kind of necklace to put on her.
Locket would be pretty.
A locket, yeah, that would be pretty, wouldn't it? So I'm going to take this now and hold it in my hand for a minute while I do the face, and then I'll bring it right back. So I'm just finishing up some touches on where I put those lines for her dress. I'm bringing in some of the pink color, the fuchsia color that I put in there just to cover just a little of it, so it doesn't quite look like lines. It looks more like the dress is just flowing because we drew them in as lines. And we want it to look a little more natural. So I'm just going over it just a little. I'm still letting it all show. Still got that leg that I think to me is too much dark. So I'm going to go over that again. Sometimes you may, when you finish a painting, go back to it at another time, like maybe tomorrow or something. You might think you don't like it at all, and then you'll look at it tomorrow and say, you know, that's pretty good. And you won't want to do anything to it. But the beauty of it all is it's your painting. And nobody can take that from you. You do what you see, and the way your hand moves makes it personalized. So if you would have done a child that you wanted to have pants on, you notice I'm being very careful. You would just cut off the dress. When you were putting it on, you wouldn't have that flowing dress.
Mhm.
And you'd have it come up farther up in the legs to make a pair of pants. If you wanted to have another little child next to her, you could just put one right here, a smaller child. My granddaughter actually has a little boy too, so smaller than the girl. It would have been nice to have the boy in there somewhere, but it doesn't have it, so.
My cat is visiting. What are you
That's,
doing?
that's so cute.
Hey, kitty cat.
And don't forget to put your signature. And that signature can go anywhere. Usually it's the right-hand corner. It doesn't have to. I just put it on the left this time. Just look like a better place to put it. So I have it over there. Where you can see it. So it's very cute painting. Like it could go up in a house. A child would like it in their bedroom, as long as the parents weren't totally 100% trendy. Because some parents will go, that won't match their room.
Yeah.
That's the way everybody is now, right? Crazy.
Mm.
But it is what it is.
To each their own, right?
Yeah. Who are we to say? What's the matter, Yoshi? What do you want? Yoshi, what? She's sitting next to me, talking to me. What? Come here. Come here. What's the matter? Come here. Come on. What? What are you telling me? You hungry? Yeah, you're hungry. So, did I tell you, lovely ladies, that we have 4 more eggs that were laid?
No way.
Yes.
Oh
Yes,
my goodness.
way.
Oh,
And
wow.
it started, well, she laid an egg up in the teepee. I'm like, what the heck did you do that for? Because they have a hanging teepee where they go all hang out in there.
Hmm.
But it's got open sides on each end, and the eggs could roll out. Anyway, she laid one up there. So then I'm like, oh, looks like she's serious on this. So I better put the nest back in there, which is a wooden box. So I put it back in, I left it open. Then a couple days later, there's an egg in the nest in the wooden box. But then there's an egg up in the teepee. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what she's doing, but I'm just going to let it alone. Then a couple days later, there's 2 eggs in the teepee. Nobody's paying attention to the egg in the nest. Then about another 2 days, there's 3. Then there's 4 eggs in the teepee. So the egg that's in the nest I threw it away because she's not interested in it. So the ones in the teepee, though, she lays on them all the time, which means they're going to hatch.
Oh my goodness.
Which means, they may all hatch, they may not. But I'm so worried about them rolling out of the teepee because it's up high.
Yeah.
This is a very big cage. And then I'm afraid that when the babies come, in the beginning, they may stay still, but they're going to start to move around. They're going to fall out of the teepee. So I keep thinking, should I move the eggs and put them into the nest? She's made somewhat of a nest in that teepee, but not enough. Like not to stop them from falling out. So I'm puzzled about what to do. I
And
did
what do you
read
do
that-
with all your other birds though? What do you do?
Well, I
with-
still got these because I'm kind of attached to them now, and the cage is so big. It's a flight cage, so it doesn't really matter if you have 5 birds or 2 birds in there. In fact, the 2 birds, it was too big for them. But I'm
Okay.
not. But now 4 more birds. That's going to be 9 birds. I can't do that. So
That's
that-
9
and
birds
plus-
now, and then in another few months you might have 20 birds.
Exactly. Exactly. And then I have the conure, right? He's in his cage. So I
Oh.
can't do this. So
Send one to me.
now I have to allow, like if somebody wants one, do you think I'm gonna have to sell them? I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have to, but
Aw.
I know that I'll get attached again. I'm such a suck with that.
Well, they all got their own little personalities and all that. right?
Yeah, and like who, and then I want to make sure whoever gets them is gonna take care of them.
Mhm.
And then that they're not, because like, that's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I cut up vegetables and fruit, and they get Cheerios, and they get rice, and they get
Mhm.
barley, and they get this, and I put it all on a tray for them, like this little royalty. And then they get there's a bowl at the bottom that they use for their bath. So I have to change that twice a day because it's a disastrous mess.
Mhm.
And you know, who's going to do that? Then they get all kinds of seeds. People will just give them seeds because you don't know, you don't realize that those birds don't live on seeds in the wild.
Oh,
You know, lovebirds are tropical and they get fruit and vegetables and whatever. So,
Mm.
and they all have an egg every day. I know that sounds so cannibalistic, doesn't it? But
that's so.
You take the egg and you just crunch it all up. And then I put it in the microwave for 1 minute. And then
Hmm.
I just crumple it with the shell, because the shell, they need the calcium. And especially for the ones who are laying eggs, like for the mother. And then afterwards, when they need to be really healthy. So who's going to do that? As long as I can find somebody that's going to do all that.
Yeah, that would be hard to make sure they go to a good home.
Yeah, and then they shouldn't just be sold one. People have to get 2 because they're supposed to mate. And
But-
sometimes, what are you gonna say?
Will you try to keep do you know what, if you have males and female babies, or you're not sure? Can you tell?
You have to have DNA testing, and I'm not gonna do
Oh.
that. Be ridiculous.
Hmm,
So
Yeah,
all I do,
Hmm.
like they pair up, like the babies that I have, there's already 2 of them have paired up.
oh,
And I don't know if they're a boy and girl. It says sometimes boys pair up, girls pair up. It doesn't matter.
uh-huh,
And it doesn't mean they're gonna mate. They're just gonna be mates.
mhm.
And that will be their mate for life.
Wow,
And so then if I was to sell one who is mated, the
Yeah.
other one will die.
oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
the
Oh.
pet store here in town had 2 of them. And my daughter was going to see them all the time. And then one day she went in and the one was gone, and they said, "Oh, we sold him." And the next day the other one died.
oh.
She was like screaming for him, and then he was gone.
Oh.
And I read that that's what happens. Like so now with the 3 babies, so there's the mother and father, they're a pair. Then there's the 2 that are mating up. Then the Coco's all by himself all the time. I feel so sorry for
Yeah,
him. At night when they sleep like together with their little heads together, and Coco's like hanging out by himself.
oh,
It's like, oh, it's crazy.
Hmm.
Anyway, so how are we doing? Are we ready to finish off? Because it is
Yeah.
just about 9.
yeah, I think so.
Do you want to show me? Oh, look at that.
Isn't it cute?
So cute.
Oh my.
And I like you did the
goodness.
blue background. That's nice.
Yeah.
Can you see again? Can I see it again? Oh, wow.
Pretty,
So
huh?
I don't know if, when Debbie sends a picture, I forward it to my computer and then I save it in an Excel document and I can make it however big I want it. So this, I'll just show you, this is what I printed off. This is all, this is
Oh.
and then I put my graphite paper behind it. So I'm just basically tracing whatever picture. I have no drawing ability, so, but that works for me. I've got it saved like to Excel and I can make it bigger or smaller.
Oh, wow.
Do you know how many artists do that? See, people don't know that. And when, okay, so if you're set up somewhere and you're doing an art show and you're, over there painting so people can see what you do,
Yeah.
you're not doing that. You're just doing something that, isn't that. But when
Right.
you're doing something like this with all the little lines and all that stuff in it, that's what people do.
Yeah, and I thought that was cheating, but it's like, that's the only way I can do it. So I guess it's not cheating.
It isn't. Artists do it all over. And the more I'm involved in the artist community, I mean, not all of them. I have friends who are like amazing artists.
Right.
I've talked to you guys about it before. And, they just sit down and they mostly do oil paints. Some do
Mhm.
watercolor, but, and they can draw anything. But then there's others that it's still your personal touch. It's still
Yes.
you.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyways, that's beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
Karen, you could try that if you just put it on. Oh, you don't have a computer, do you?
I don't have a printer. I have a
Don't have a
printer that
printer.
doesn't want to sync up with my computer.
Oh, okay.
It goes to default, so.
Hmm.
Oh, that's aggravating. I know I have one that does that too. Oh, well, you're still doing good. So
Yeah.
how's your birdies coming? Can we see?
Yeah. I just don't know how to draw the legs on the bottom.
Oh, that's
Wow.
nice. I love that background. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I
didn't
love
do
that.
that. That's
And the
nice.
bird flying in looks amazing.
Thank you.
See, she did the birds that we did the other day or the other month or whenever the heck it was. And she said, oh, I left too much space between my two birds.
Huh?
I said, well, why don't you do one flying in? He's going to come in and land on the thing. And she's done it. And look at it. I can't wait to
Very
see it
nice.
totally finished. Good job.
I think
You
you
have to
recorded
frame
that
that
one,
one.
didn't you? You recorded that, the
Yeah,
bird
I think I
painting?
did.
I think I was away then. Yeah, I'm gonna do that sometimes.
Yeah, that
Very
should be
nice.
on there. This is see, I did, mine is here. And yeah.
Oh, I love it.
But,
Oh, I
and
love
you know
the
how the
background.
background, do you know how I did that background?
Is that with a
Bub-
sponge or
Bubble wrap.
bubble wrap? Wow.
When I get a package from Amazon, I just cut the envelope open and inside's it's bubble wrap. And then you cut a square bubble wrap, like a good size one, and then you just dip it in the paint and just go, and that's what it
And
does.
both of yours are it's kind of like around in a circle, like a moonbeam or something. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's how you do it when you're putting your bubble wrap on. You do the lighter
Oh,
color first and
pretty.
the darker. But that's how that one came
Hmm.
out. And then I'll just show you another one before you go. I know it's 9 o'clock now, just about.
Those are so nice.
This was the one from, did you do this one, Sue?
Oh, I did that one. Yes.
Yeah, that one.
The abstract. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
that's I have another one like that too, but that's the one that I did.
Yeah, very nice.
And people really like those. I can't, there's the other. I actually like the smaller one better.
Yes, I
But
like
that's that one. And then somewhere, I got that other one with the girl leaning on the chair. That's another abstract that was so cool. And this one was the one I did with I think I did that with the Brain Injury
Oh.
Association.
all the kids, people around the world.
Yeah,
Nice.
so
That's
we
cool.
did that one. They picked that one. So yeah, I do a painting with them once a month with that group. Yeah, and we get quite a few out. So anyways, I think we're done.
All right. Thank you very much.
I think we're done. So you guys, God bless you. Have a good week. Karen, I'll see you soon. Oh, tomorrow. Are you
Tomorrow?
coming to that? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have any idea who is, but it's okay. It's just to do an
Mhm.
explanation. Okay, Sue, God bless you, honey. We'll see you
Thank you.
soon,
God
okay?
bless you.
Thank you so much.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too.
Yeah, so tomorrow, Karen, I don't know. I know you said you were coming and Minister Dillis is coming because she has a lot of questions.
Are you still
And-
on record?
What's that?
Are you still recording?
Thank you. I'll cut that out. Hang on. Oh boy.